Hey, what's going on guys, Wipp here back for another video. Today we're going to be making this awesome Iron Man HUD effect inside of Davinci Resolve. And the best part is all of this can be achieved inside of the free version of Davinci Resolve. So anyways, let's jump right into the video. I'm just going to grab my Fusion clip up here and drag it down. So now I just have a blank clip here and I will jump right into Fusion. So now we're going to be tracking the clip. So I'm going to put an unsharp mask after it. And now if we do this, we'll just bring up the size and the gain. So now this is going to be adding a bunch of detail and like contrast to it. So now there's a lot more spots for the tracker to track. And now that we're done with this, we'll just do shift space and type planar tracker. Now if we view this, we will come to the color and go through all the different channels to find which one of them has the most detail. And I would say green is going to be the best option. So I'll just go back to the color view and then in the planar tracker do track channel and then do green. And now we will just make an outline. And now we can render this, or track this. And as you can see, that is doing a very good job tracking. Alright, and there we go. So that's looking like a pretty good track. So now I'm just going to create my planar transform, and I'll grab a background node to plug into that. And now if we view this, we'll just make the background node like a light gray, and make it somewhat transparent. So now if we watch this, as you can see, the track is looking pretty good. Now it's not perfect, but I think it'll do for this purpose. So I'm just going to be deleting all that now. I will delete my sharpness mask and bring the planar tracker off to the side. So now we're going to start adding in all of the HUD assets. So I'm just going to come up to my media pool where I have them, and I got all of these off productioncrate.com. Productioncrate.com is a great spot to get VFX assets and a bunch of other cool stuff like that. It is only a single price per year, so I totally recommend going to check that out. They also have a bunch of free stuff, so you guys can download those, and I'll have a link in the description below to where you guys can go sign up for that. Alright, so I'll just drag this down, and now if I view this, as you can see, this is a pretty cool looking graphic. And it ends at 179 frames, but it is a loopable graphic. So now in the media in 1, I can just hit loop right here, okay? And now as you can see, that'll loop forever, and that's really helpful. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is come into the planar tracker and do create planar transform. And now I'm just going to hook all this up. And there we go, I now have the like Iron Man HUD effect going on. But this is like right on my face. We want this to be out a little closer to the camera. So how we do this with the planar tracker, which is only tracking like the 2D, we will grab a background, merge it up, and flip the inputs, and make the background transparent. And this is not going to be doing anything until you come up to the image. And now if we uncheck auto resolution, we'll just times this by 2. And then we'll also times the height by 2. And that's going to be giving us 4K resolution. So now if we watch this, as you can see, it looks like it's almost out in Z depth a little bit closer to the camera. Alright, so that's looking pretty good. I'm actually going to come up and times these by 0.5. So times by 0.5. There we go. And so this is just going to be a little farther out. And I like the look of that. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and start adding some of the other assets. So I will grab this one right here. And I will create another planar transform and plug this in and view it. So now this graphic, if we view it, this is 720. So this one is also even lower res. So if we just view this, this one is going to be behind my face because it is a lower resolution file. But we want this to be the same as the media in 2. So I'm just going to select these and I'm just going to paste them. I'm just going to paste them right here and merge them up. So now as you can see, that's going to be at the same spot as the outer grid. And now with this, I'll just drag my media in up and add a transform. And now we can use this to position it wherever we want. So I'm just going to put it something like that. And now I will repeat this process for the next few. So we're going to be putting on this effect, which is the thing that's going to be going by the eye. It's like a targeting system like thing. So we'll just copy the planar transform and paste this again. And this is already 4K, so this is going to be out far. And that is the opposite that we want for this one. If we connect this up, we want this one to be closer. So I will merge these over. I will grab a background, make this transparent, and connect it up as the background. So Control T. And now this is going to be at the correct Z depth. We want it to be just out a little bit from the face though. So let's come uncheck auto resolution, and I will add like 400 pixels, and I will add 400 pixels to the next one as well. So So there we go, now this is going to be a little farther out. And now if I add a transform, I will just scale this down and put this right around my eye, just like that. And we want this one to be behind everything, so let's just slide all this down here. Hold shift and grab it and place it right like that. So now when this comes on, it'll be behind. As you can see, that's going to be staying in the eye pretty well, just like so. So now I'm going to go through and make some adjustments. So like I'm going to grab my first media in here and I'm going to scale it up so it's like a little bit bigger. I want this other one to be off to the side a little bit more. And same with this one, just so you can see my face a little bit better. So now we're going to go through making all these match. As you can see, they're not all the same color or have the same amount of glow. So what we'll do for this, select all these and then just drag them up. Okay, so now let's do the first one. With this, we will just add a color corrector. And we will also add a glow. And we'll just do the glow first. So bring up the glow size, bring down the glow, bring up the glow amount. So something like that. And now in the color corrector, we can either make it not quite as blue or a little more like a digital blue. So I'm gonna do something kind of like that. So just like a little bit. And now the next is going to be the outer thing, which is going to need a bunch of color correction. So we'll just add a bunch of tint to it to make it the right color blue. So I'm thinking something kind of like that. And now after this, we will also add a glow. And bring up the glow size. Bring down the glow amount a little bit. So something like that. And I will also do this to this one. So we'll just continue this. Alright, now that that is done, one last touch that we want to do is make these somewhat transparent. So what I'm going to do is select all of these and drag them up and disconnect them. So if you hold shift and drag, it'll disconnect all the ones you have selected from nodes that aren't selected. Now I'll grab a background, make this transparent, and merge this up to the last one. Then if we just grab this and merge it up to media in, it should look the same. Now inside of this merge, we will just bring the blend down just a little bit. It's kind of like a subtle effect. And I want the eye one to be a little bit less transparent, so we'll do that. We can also come into this one, come into the transform, and add the on animation. So I want it to be fully animated on by then, so I'll just add a keyframe on the size, come back a few frames to when it's starting, and just size it up. Now we're gonna go ahead and add some more effects to the whole thing. So now on my face here, we wanna grab the planar transform and create another one here. And we'll just view the media in for now. And now with the planar transform, I'm gonna put an ellipse mask into the input. And now if we view this, what I'll do is I'll just make it so that it is just masking around my face. So something kind of like that, and then just make sure it stays on pretty well. So I'm liking that. And now what we'll do is grab a background and merge this up, flip the inputs, and now if we view that, that is looking pretty good. It's almost like my face is fading away, like I'm actually in one of the Iron Man helmets. And so as you can see, the mask isn't doing a perfect job, but it is doing enough so that you won't be able to notice it when we have it fully merged out. So now after this media in, we'll just do shift space and add a color corrector. And now with this, we'll just add like a little bit of a tint of blue. You don't want to go too much because that'll look kind of weird. But you just want like a little bit, like something like that, to show that there are reflections coming onto you. Alright, and the last touch is after the merge, we'll do shift space and type lens reflections. Alright, and now we can just bring the global brightness down a good amount. And that's just like a little subtle touch. Now once we're done with that, let's just go back to the edit page and wait for the red line to turn blue. Alright, so as you can see, we have now finished this and it looks pretty good. The track is looking nice and all the perspective stuff is working just as planned. Again, you guys can go through and tweak these to be however you want, but I'm liking the result that I got on mine. Make sure you guys go to productioncrate.com to get these amazing assets. You can make them yourself inside of Davinci Resolve. It's just, I think it's a lot easier to get them if they're pre-made for you. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed, please give it a like and comment down below if you guys have any questions. I would really appreciate if you guys want to support me on Patreon, where you guys can get a bunch of cool assets and stuff for making your videos. There's a link in the description below to where you guys can see that. Subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell so you guys get notified whenever I upload a new video, and I'll see you guys next time for another video.